Determining what are the most spoken languages in the world is a more difficult task than you might imagine. We can say with some confidence that Mandarin, English, Spanish, and Arabic will make an appearance, but there are some surprises too. Would you have guessed that Bengali is in the top 10 most spoken languages? Roughly 7,117 languages are spoken all over the world. Impossible to learn every language, so we used to speak language depending upon where we are living. Then, there comes the role of most spoken languages in the world. Here, we have made the list of the top 10 most spoken languages in the world in 2021, so that you have no dilemma which language is widely spoken. Number 10. Indonesian language. Indonesian is an Austronesian language, that is the official language of Indonesia. Indonesian language didn't exist until 1928 along with its standardized version of Malay, and considered as a separate language only for political purposes. Over 199 million speakers are fluent speakers of Indonesian. But only 20 million of them actually use it as their first language. Indonesian has a simple language structure, which makes it easy to write and pronounce, also to learn. There are over 43 million native speakers of the Indonesian language, and the writing system of Indonesian is Latin Indonesian alphabet, and Indonesian Braille. There are some words that are borrowed from Sanskrit, Arabic, Dutch, English, and the local language which are commonly used. Number 9. Portuguese language. In 12th century, Portugal got its independence from Spain, and expanded all over the world. Starting in the 15th century, avid Portuguese traders and conquerors brought their language to Africa, Asia, and to America. The spread of Portuguese may have initially been tied to European colonization, but the colonized countries developed their own vibrant cultures that transformed the language forever. Today, Portuguese is spoken by 220 million native speakers, and is the official language of 9 countries like Brazil, Goa, Angola, Mozambique, Cape Verde, and so on. The majority of Portuguese speakers are not from Portugal, which means only 5% of Portuguese speakers live in Portugal. Portuguese is very similar to Spanish, so people can understand each other easily. Hundreds of words from the language are derived from Arabic, and 15% of Uruguay's population speaks it. Number 8. Russian. Although some people consider it as a harsh language in the world, yet it is the 8th most spoken language in the world. We used to think them as our enemies, but now we think of them as our friends. Famed for its inscrutable grammar, and quite lovely Cyrillic script, it remains one of the 6 languages spoken in the United Nations. Russian is spoken in diverse places, not only in the mother country, but also in Belarus, Kazakhstan, and the US. More than 250 million people are speaking this language. It is widely used in Eastern Europe, the Baltic states, and Central Asia. The Russian language was the main language of the Soviet Union, until its dissolution, on the 26th of December 1991. It is mostly spoken in Israel, and Mongolia. It is the largest native language in the Europe continent. Number 7. Bengali language. Admit it, you didn't expect Bengali to be on the list of most spoken languages, but this Indo-Aryan language is spoken in the eastern part of the Indian subcontinent. When you visit the countries where Bengali is spoken, you'll be greeted by a large continuum of regional dialects. Bangladesh and Sierra Leone are the 2 countries that use Bengali as the official language. Bengali-speaking people do not live in Sierra Leone, but Bengali is the official language for the status in recognition of the Bangladeshi peacekeeping force, to restore the peace of that region. Bengali has developed over the course of more than 1,300 years ago, and in 1956 the Bengali language movement, demanding Bengali to be the official language of Pakistan. The grammar of the Bengali language is gender-free, which is quite an interesting fact too. Number 6. Arabic language. Arabic is one of the oldest languages spoken in the different countries of the world. Over 22 countries have Arabic as the official language, such as Saudi Arabia, Algeria, Egypt, Iraq, Oman, Qatar, Yemen, Sudan, Libya, and so on. The Holy Book of Muslims is written in Arabic, so the millions of Muslims are speaking Arabic in numerous countries of the world. In 1974, Arabic was made the sixth official language of the United Nations. Its number of speakers are more than 270 million living around the different countries of the world. Recent numbers put Arabic at around 315 million native speakers. But this is another instance of numbers not telling the full tale. Arabic, like Chinese, is so vastly different in its respective dialects as to be effectively a number of languages grouped as one for the sake of convenience. There are two Arabic forms. Classical Arabic or Quranic Arabic is more common in literature and writing. It is the language used in the Holy Quran, as well as ancient literary texts from the 7th to the 9th century. Modern Standard Arabic is the official Arabic taught in schools and universities, used in books, magazines, media, legal documents, etc. Number 5. French. Known for its pleasant, poetic sound, French is a Romance language of the Indo-European family that's officially spoken in 29 countries across multiple continents. Most countries, where French is officially spoken, are members of the Organisation Internationale de la Francophonie, whose mission is to promote cooperation, human rights, education, culture, and democracy in French-speaking countries. The birth of the French language is in Gaul, and more specifically from northern Gaul. About 45% of modern English words are of French origin, and it is one of the easiest languages for English speakers to learn. French is also considered an influential language in the diplomatic world along with English. It is accepted by many international institutions like the United Nations, the Red Cross, the European Union, the International Olympic Committee, etc., and international courts that use French as one of their official languages. Number 4. Spanish. The Spanish language is a beautiful Romance language, which was originated from the Iberian Peninsula, and it's also one of the 6 official languages of the United Nations. It is spoken almost in every South American and Central American country, and not to nominate the Spain, Cuba, and the United States. In US there is a great attention in the Spanish language, because many English words are borrowed from the language, including tornado, patio, bonanza, enchilada and more. There's a ton of learning material available in Spanish, not to mention a wealth of movies, music, and books. You can easily find people who speak Spanish fluently online, and connect with them using Skype. Over 483 million native speakers make it the second most spoken native language, and with over 530 million speakers, it is in the 4th most spoken languages in the world. Number 3. Hindi. The second most populated country, India, uses the Hindustani as its primary language. India has the largest Hindu population in the world. With more than 630 million speakers, it comes at 3rd rank in the list of top 10 most spoken languages in the world. It is expected that the population of India will exceed the Chinese inhabitants soon, in a small amount of years. India has 23 official languages, with Hindi and Urdu chief among them. Hindi is an Indo-Aryan language that originated from India. Hindi is mostly influenced by Sanskrit, and named after the Persian word Hind. Each letter of the Hindi alphabet has its own distinct and independent sound. The Hindi language has a wide range of speakers, and the majority of Hindi speakers are found in India, Nepal, Trinidad, Tobago, Suriname, Guyana, Mauritius, Fiji, and several other countries, along with the United States and the United Kingdom. It was standardized in the 19th century, along with Urdu, and has many similarities in these two languages. Many will associate the Hindi language with the colorful Bollywood movies, or the chaotic traffic in Delhi. But Hindi has a lot more to give. Like 630 million potential friends, and access to an incredible variety of cultures. If you give this Indo-Aryan language a chance, you will not only discover superb music, entertaining movies, and warm people, but you will also see how it operates with English. Number 2. Mandarin Chinese. Mandarin is a group of Sinitic languages that was mostly spoken in northern and southwestern China. Over 1.1 billion people speaks Mandarin Chinese, which mainly originated in north of China. Mandarin Chinese is in the first position in terms of the native speakers, and in the second position in the most spoken languages in the world. Mandarin has the highest number of native speakers, and is spoken by 70% of Chinese speakers. This makes it the largest Chinese dialect by far. Mandarin is the tonal language. That means, the meaning of a word changes, based on the way we pronounce it. It consists of 50,000 different characters, which make it one of the most complex language to learn also. Mandarin started developing 1,000 years ago, and it is one of the several Chinese dialects. Speaking Mandarin is not so effortless, because each word can be pronounced in 4 ways, so a beginner will have the trouble to speak and distinguish the one tone from another. Until 1955, it was written in vertical columns, going from right to left, but the People's Republic of China has westernized the written language. So it is written, left to right, horizontally. Number 1. English. If you're listening this article, you may be one of the native English speakers, or one who speak it as a second language. The English language is the most spoken languages in the world, with over 1.2 billion total speakers. Although English does not have the most speakers, like Mandarin, yet it is the official language of more nations than other, and the most spoken languages in the world. It is part of the West Germanic language family, and is present on 6 of the 7 continents, as an official language. It is widely spoken in some areas of South Asia, Africa, and the Caribbean. Over 67 countries, and 27 non-sovereign entities speak the English language as the official language. It is a West Germanic language which was first spoken in early medieval England, and mostly associated with German, Low Saxon, and Frisian. It is the leading language of international discourse, and speaking in professional contexts, like navigation, science, and law. The relative ease with which English can be picked up, especially compared with Chinese, and the pervasive soft power of US culture means that English will continue to dominate the world stage for the foreseeable future. For some, English is still synonymous with opportunity and a better quality of life. If someone asks you, what is the most spoken language in the world? Now you know that the answer is English, at least when counting both native and non-native speakers. Learning one of the most spoken languages in the world is an excellent investment of your time. If you guys know any of the languages above, let us know in the comments below. Subscribe, and share these most spoken languages in the world list on social media to update your friends too.